When we create machines that can think for themselves, what does that mean for our own authority, for our ability to determine our own future? This is truly one of the most fundamental questions of our time. Today, we're going to explore this very idea, the concept of mankind's sovereignty, and examine how the rise of artificial intelligence is challenging it in ways we've never seen before. To help us navigate this complex subject, we're going to follow a clear path. First, we'll build a solid foundation by defining what mankind's sovereignty actually is and tracing its evolution through history. Then, we'll dive right into AI's unique challenge, looking at its potential as both a threat and, perhaps surprisingly, an enhancer. And finally, we'll look forward to solutions, exploring new legal frameworks and what a responsible future with AI could look like. All right, so let's begin with our core concept. Before we can really grasp how AI is changing the game, we need to be very clear on what we mean when we use the term sovereignty in this context. Now, mankind's sovereignty isn't just about the power of nations or governments. It's a much bigger, more philosophical idea. It's about the collective moral authority of all of us, of humanity itself. What this really means is that the most important decisions, the ones that affect our entire species, should be guided by what's best for everyone, not just the narrow interest of a few. To understand authority, it helps to know where it comes from. And historically, there are two main schools of thought. On one side, you have natural law. This is the idea that some principles, like fundamental human rights, are just inherent. They exist as part of nature and we discover them through reason. On the other side, there's the law of human will, which argues that laws are simply what we, as humans, agree they should be. And as we'll see, figuring out how to govern AI really forces us to decide which of these philosophies we want to guide us. The concept of sovereignty hasn't stood still. Not at all. It's evolved quite dramatically over the centuries. And understanding this history is key to appreciating just how different and how profound the challenge of AI really is. You can see the journey right here. It all started with the absolute power of a monarch. Thinkers like Hobbes argued that one person had to have total control to maintain order. Then, that power shifted to the nation-state with the Treaty of Westphalia. After that, the Enlightenment, with philosophers like Rousseau, gave us the idea of popular sovereignty, that power actually rests with the people. And finally, in the 20th century, we elevated the sovereignty of the single individual with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. There's a clear trend here, isn't there? A movement away from concentrated power and toward empowering each and every person. And that brings us to today, to the heart of the matter. Artificial intelligence is disrupting all of these historical ideas of sovereignty in ways that are truly unprecedented. It's challenging our sense of control across multiple domains, all at the same time. The first and most obvious challenge is economic. We hear about it all the time. When AI and automation can do jobs that people used to do, it directly hits an individual's ability to provide for themselves and their family. But this is more than just about job loss. It's a fundamental challenge to our ability to control our own economic lives. Next, let's think about our culture. The algorithms that decide what you see on social media or what movie to watch next, they aren't neutral. They actively shape our cultural conversations, our tastes, and even our values. And this subtle but powerful influence chips away at our collective ability to decide for ourselves what we as a society care about. AI is also making its way into how we are governed. When we start to delegate decisions in areas like the justice system or public benefits to an AI, who is ultimately responsible when something goes wrong? Who do you hold accountable? This delegation raises some really deep questions about transparency and whether a human is still truly in charge. And finally, AI simply doesn't care about borders. An AI system can be designed in one country, run on servers in another, and affect people all over the world. This global, borderless nature makes it incredibly difficult for any single nation to apply its laws, creating a massive jurisdictional puzzle for everyone. Now, having looked at all these challenges, it would be easy to see AI as only a threat, but it is absolutely crucial to maintain a balanced perspective here. AI also holds incredible potential to actually enhance human sovereignty in some very powerful ways. Here, you can really see the two faces of AI. On one hand, yes, it can threaten our sovereignty through things like biased algorithms or mass surveillance. But on the other hand, the very same kinds of technology can enhance our lives, giving us things like personalized healthcare or more efficient public services. The key takeaway is this: the outcome isn't written in stone. It depends entirely on the choices we make about how we design and govern these systems.
So, given this dual nature, how do we steer AI's development toward enhancement and away from threat? The answer, as it so often does, lies in being intentional. It lies in forging new legal frameworks, new rules of the road that are specifically designed for this new technological age. Any effective legal framework for AI has to be built on a foundation of solid principles. First and foremost, the goal must always be to safeguard human interests. From there, it's about finding the right balance between encouraging innovation and putting necessary regulations in place. It's about building public trust through clear legal guarantees and, of course, protecting our fundamental rights to fairness and non-discrimination. These are the absolute pillars.
And because AI technology is moving so incredibly fast, our legal approach has to be just as dynamic. This means we need adaptive laws, laws that are based on principles, not on rigid, specific rules that will be obsolete in a year. It also demands international cooperation, because no single country can regulate a global technology on its own. And it requires a commitment to regularly review our laws to make sure they're still up to the task. Let's conclude by looking forward. What is the ultimate goal here? What are we striving for? It's about envisioning and then building a future where AI is integrated into our world responsibly, a future where it augments our humanity instead of diminishing it. This quote really captures the essence of the task ahead of us. The law isn't supposed to be a roadblock to progress, far from it. Instead, it's the most powerful tool we have to make sure that, as technology advances, it stays aligned with our shared human goals. Goals like fairness, dignity, and a better life for everyone. So ultimately, the path forward requires a synthesis. It isn't just about the law, or just about ethics, or just about the tech itself. The real goal is to create a comprehensive governance framework where all three of these things, technical standards, ethical principles, and legal rules, all converge and work together. This holistic approach is our best chance for navigating the AI age with wisdom and foresight. And so we're left with a final, profound question. As these systems become more and more powerful, where should the ultimate authority lie? Should it be with the tech companies that create them? With the people who use them? Or do we need to invent something new? Perhaps a global body that represents the sovereign interests of all humanity? The answer we choose will define the world our children and grandchildren inherit.